This summer, I flew all the way from Arizona to Ohio to attend CCAD's Summer College Preview. I had so much fun and made so many friends and drank a lot of iced coffee. And in this video, I'm going to tell you things I wish I knew before attending this program. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I've been meaning to film this video, but I just never had the time to sit down and get to it. I was adjusting to my new school, but now that I'm sort of settled in there and it's the weekend, I finally have the time to talk about this topic, and that will be my reflection and my review on my experience at the 2023-24 CCAD College Preview Camp. I personally majored in graphic design this summer, so I'm gonna have a little section from this timestamp to this timestamp. And if you're not interested in hearing about graphic design or the projects I did, feel free to skip over that section completely. But don't skip this video because I did graphic design if you think it won't be helpful. I promise I will talk about my experience at camp as a whole. Now, the date is Friday, August 18th, and it has been about 2 weeks since I attended camp, so I want to make sure I record this video while everything is still fresh in my mind and I can really give my best review. So I have my notes here on my computer of all the different things I want to talk about. Okay, so the first thing that I figured would be helpful to just say before I get started with this video are some abbreviations that I might throw around just so you know what they mean. And also, I did not know these, all of these abbreviations before I went to camp. So if people are using them, I want you to be able to understand that for if you go to this program. So my first one that I have is CCAD. Obviously, that one is pretty obvious. It is the Columbus College of Art and Design. My second abbreviation I have is SHOT. SHOT is short for Shot Scene, which is the residence hall that all first years at CCAD live in, and that is the residence hall that the summer scholars will be staying in. The next abbreviation I have DSB. It is short for Design Studios on Broad, and this is a picture of what the building looks like. Design Studios on Broad is one of their classroom buildings, so once you come here, you'll learn to know all the different buildings, like Crane Center, that's where all the graphic design is. Kinney Hall, that's where all the film and photography and all that stuff is. What else am I forgetting? There's Kanazi Center, that's where the auditorium is, where the gallery is. So when you come here, you'll come to learn all of these different buildings. Design Studios on Broad is kind of important because not only is that where fine arts and fashion happens, but it's also where they host their live drawings. So they had an event where you could draw, I think it was a miniature pony, they had a live fox, and you can just go in and draw it. I did not do any of those live drawing classes, but I know people who went had fun, and you gotta pet the animals and stuff, so that's super cool. Next abbreviation I have is DSA. That stands for Design Square Apartments. That is where all of the upperclassmen at CCAD live, and also it is where the dining hall is. The dining hall is on the bottom floor of DSA. Oh my gosh. You know when you have to sneeze and then you don't sneeze? I really felt it. I really felt that one all up in my sinuses, and it just didn't happen. Okay, last abbreviation I have for you guys is the Hills. Now, you're probably gonna hear from people that there's a grocery store nearby. But you're like, where the heck is this grocery store? Like, I don't see a grocery store. So, how do I explain this? You kind of walk past where the parking lot is and where DSA is, kind of backwards, and next to the Domino's, there is a grocery store called the Hills Marketplace. Now, for short, me and my friends, we just called it the Hills. I think other people probably called it the Hills too, but I don't really know. But yeah, so if I talk about the Hills, I'm talking about the Hills Marketplace, which is a grocery store. My next section for this video is things that I'm glad I brought to camp. So these are the things that's just like turned out being super duper helpful, and I'm really glad I brought it. So first thing I'm glad I brought is my laptop. This might not apply to all majors, but for me it was really helpful since I was doing graphic design, and I have the Adobe Creative Cloud on my laptop. Now, if you don't have Adobe CC or any of that software sort of stuff, they have it available on all their computers there. But I did not want to have to walk from my dorm to the to the studio if I didn't feel like it. I wanted to be able to just work wherever, so it was really helpful. I had my laptop and I brought a little mouse so I could work wherever I brought my laptop, which was really nice. Next thing I'm glad I brought is my outlet multiplier. Let me actually grab it because it's under my desk here. Oh. I'm gonna just pretend that didn't happen, but I completely forgot that my lamp is plugged in to the outlet multiplier. So I pulled it out the wall and my entire room went dark. Anyways, okay, bringing this outlet multiplier was super helpful because there's only so many outlets in the room. So let's see, there's the pantry area kind of the dorm, and there's a few outlets there. Then inside the actual room, there's an outlet on one person's side and on the other person's side, and there's an outlet in the bathroom. And those are all the outlets in the room. I had this outlet multiplier that you plug it into the socket, boom, 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 you have 6 spots, plus some USBs, and there was even a USB-C connector, which USB-C, you know, is what's on the end of all the new chargers, all the new iPhones, all the Android phones, all that sort of stuff. So it was super duper helpful to have this charger, and it actually worked really well. I bought it off of Shein. I will put a picture somewhere of it if I still have one of it. Okay. Next thing I have is my skylight and my wall collage. Now, it does seem super unnecessary. It seems not super unnecessary. It seems a little unnecessary. It seems a little excessive. But I promise you, when your room doesn't feel like a jail cell, when your room looks all cute and nice, you'll be thanking me. I did not bring a whole bunch of decorations. I did not bring a bunch. But just adding a little touch by putting my wall collage on the wall and having my skylight to turn on at night just made everything so nice, because it was like taking a little piece of my room with me, and it just felt so clean. It didn't feel under decorated, didn't feel over decorated. It was like the right amount, and it was like really compact. Like my skylight's like probably that big, and those packet of prints, I think I have it here somewhere. I don't know, I'll find it, but it's like this big and like really thin, so it doesn't even take up much space to pack it. Just take some tape, stick it up, and it elevates the room so much, I think. Okay, next I have my collapsible laundry basket. So helpful. I cannot tell you enough how helpful this was. I also bought this off of Shein, and I think it was probably one of the best things I have ever bought off of Shein. It is about this big when it's folded, so it's like a little circle. Then you take the band off and it pops out into a laundry basket that's decently sized. Like, I was able to fit so much inside of that laundry basket. Then there's little pockets on the side of the actual basket, which are so helpful because when I was going down to do laundry, I would throw my detergent and my dryer sheets and all that into the side pockets, and my keys and all that sort of stuff. I'd put that in the side pocket. Then there's handles on the basket, so you can hold the basket by the handles and you can just take your laundry. I thought it was super helpful. I thought it was really lightweight. Like, it was so easy, and it took up like this much space, like barely any space in my suitcase. So if you are flying like how I did, I think that is one of the better purchases. Now, if you're coming from somewhere in Ohio or a state that's nearby and you're driving, maybe you don't need to worry about this whole how much space you have and the weight of your items. But I had to worry about it because suitcases need to be 50 pounds when you're flying. And what's it called? I had to fit everything I needed for a month inside of, my suitcase, my carry-on, all that sort of stuff. So I had to be really strategic about the way I was packing. Okay, next thing I have is a big water bottle. I bought this 40-ounce Stanley dupe off of Amazon. It was like 60. What in the world? Did I say 60? I meant 16. Sorry, not 60. This was like $16 off of Amazon. I love her. I use her for everything. Holds so much water. So, like, I don't really need to do refills throughout the day. Although I probably should be drinking more than 40 ounces of water in a day. But anyways, we're just gonna not pay attention to that right now. But I found it so helpful. I would go take my giant cup. I'm walking around camp, my giant cup, holding it, taking it everywhere with me. I'd go to the dining hall in DSA in the morning, and I would fill it up, ice, water, and I would just take that around with me everywhere. And yeah, that is what I did. Next thing I have on my things I'm glad I brought is a comfy sweatshirt and sweatpants to be comfy on a rainy day. That is a lot of times I wrote comfy in a sentence, but the weather in Ohio was something I was not expecting. It is kind of like up and down. Like, you walk inside, it's sunny. You walk out again, it's raining. Then you go in again, it's sunny. Then it's overcast, then it's sunny. And then it's pouring, and then it's sunny. And it's just insane. But having a nice, like, comfy sweatshirt and comfy sweatpants when you're feeling kind of icky and you don't want to wear jeans or anything like that is helpful. Yes, it's art school. Yes, there's probably going to be people with, like, cool outfits and stuff, but I promise there are people who dress normally. And okay, I don't mean normally as in like having like a really cool sense of personal style is not normal. I just mean it in the sense of there are people who dress kind of more mainstream or basic there. So if you're worried about having to dress like some fashion week model, like crazy intricate outfits, don't worry about that. Don't worry. Next thing I have is really basic shoes that match with everything. I brought black Converse, white Converse. Those were my shoe options that carried me through everything. I was just like, is this a black Converse outfit or a white Converse outfit? Because I swear Converse go with everything. I wear the high platform Converse, and those are just my favorite. I don't love the low tops. I mean, they're cute too, but I just love a good platform. Even though I'm already so tall, I love my platforms. And the last thing on things I'm glad I brought is something that you might not think of, but a bath mat. Think about it this way. You are going into an unfurnished college dorm. What sort of things do you think you need? Now, obviously, bedding, clothing, all that comes to mind right away. But you might not think of bath mat. A bath mat is so helpful, and I'm so glad I brought mine. None of my other roommates brought bath mats, and if I hadn't brought mine, we would have been getting out of the shower, stepping on the cold floor, getting water everywhere. So I'm really glad I brought my bath mats. Now, with 4 people living in a dorm, the bath mats get kind of icky real fast, but it's nice because all the laundry there is free. So you can do your laundry for free. So I was washing those bath mats because with 4 people stepping all on them, they were getting kind of gross. Now I am moving on into my things that I regret bringing or like I just brought and didn't really need. The first thing that I regret bringing is hangers. Now, I still stand by the fact that hangers are a good thing to bring with you when you're traveling because you never know what the laundry situation's gonna be like. Like if you need to hang dry things so they don't shrink. But now, let me save you the headache by telling you, this is my insider advice, the dryers don't shrink your clothes. So, to be extra careful, when I was doing my laundry, if I had like my jean shorts or anything like that, sweatpants, things I didn't want to shrink, I'd dry it on like low to medium heat, kind of to gauge. But once I realized that the dryers weren't shrinking my clothes, I just went ahead and started drying my stuff. I brought the hangers just in case I need to hang something up because the dryer was going to shrink stuff. But the dryers did not shrink any of my stuff. It made me so happy. It made me so happy that I didn't have to worry about that. So if you're thinking about bringing hangers to hang things in the closet or hangers to dry your clothes, I'm telling you, the dressers are huge, the drawers are deep. You will have enough room for 3 weeks of clothes, I promise, in that drawer. And then also, if you're worried about having to hang dry or hand dry clothes, I think you'll be fine with just using the dryer. Or at least if you want to bring hangers, maybe don't bring as many as I did. I brought 12. I feel like maybe if I was still bringing them, I probably should have brought like, I don't know, 2, 3. But that's all. Next thing I regret bringing that I didn't need was a filter pitcher. Now, personally, I'm not super mad at myself for bringing this because with everything that was going on with the train and the chemicals in Ohio, it was freaking me out. It was making me nervous, so I brought the filter pitcher. But in the dining hall where they have the soda machines, all that stuff, you can get water from those machines that are not tap water. The water is not bad. I just got like a notification saying my storage was full, so like cut me off. But anyways, I was saying the water's not bad. It's not the best water I've tasted, but it's okay. It will do. And that's coming from me, who I am a picky water girly. Like, I'm so picky. I hate water fountain water. I hate tap water. And I will only drink like my water at home, and only some bottled water is acceptable. Like Costco bottled water, yes. Arrowhead, never. Hate Arrowhead. It tastes so bad. So yeah, all that considered, me saying the water is decent, don't be worried. Now, things I wish I brought. Now, I brought the like little preppy slides, these things, and they're nice, but honestly, you're not in the dorm or walking around the dorm that much. So I didn't need them as much, but instead what I wish I had brought is my Crocs or slides or like Birks or something like that, that are easy shoes that you can slip on and go. that is so helpful for if you're trying to just go to breakfast real fast, go to dinner real fast. Like, you don't want to worry about putting on your shoes, tying them up, because Converse, they take a sec to put on. And sometimes you just want to slip in and go. So, yeah, I wish I had brought, like, my Crocs. Next thing I have is an umbrella. Now, you can survive without one, and I think I just got lucky because compared to all the times it was raining, I was always indoors when it was raining. I was on the bus, in the building, like in the dorm. I was never caught in the rain except for one night when I was having issues with my computer, so I couldn't use Adobe on my computer and I had to go to the studio, and it started pouring rain and I had to go back to the dorm. I had just bought a brand new Coach messenger bag, like a little Coach bag, and my laptop was also inside, and I did not want to get her wet. So I got super lucky that night because one of the RAs was walking by the Crane building as I was standing in front, and she had an umbrella, and I asked her if she could please walk me back to my dorm, and luckily she was so kind and she walked me back. So that was so nice of her, and I really appreciated it. Next thing I wish I brought is my full-size makeup mirror. If makeup is something that you like to do, make sure you prioritize it. Like, I wanted to bring it, but I didn't have the space, which is one thing. But I wish that maybe I had moved some things and made space for it, because I think it's so helpful. One of my roommates had her mirror and it was so helpful for her. I have my mirror here on my desk that I use like essentially every day to get ready. So when I like tried to downsize for camp and skimp out and like use a little circle mirror, I thought that downsizing would be fine for me because like, oh, it'll be a short period of time. But honestly, I like having that big mirror. I like being able to see everything and not having to like hold it up because it's too short. Like, I can just put it on the counter, angle it. It has the light. I sit in front of the mirror so I get like that good natural light while I'm doing my makeup. So that's something I really like having. Obviously, if you're a bathroom girly or whatever your setup is, or if you're a guy that doesn't wear makeup, or if you're just a person who doesn't wear makeup and you don't need to worry about it, then don't worry about it. But if you're someone who is like a vanity girly, meaning like, you know, you like having your sit down with your mirror and stuff, like how I do like my sit down setup, then don't skimp out on yourself and make sure you bring that mirror. So moving on from packing sort of stuff, I'm going to be talking about my favorite activities. So they kind of did a few things that were on campus. They had like a ice cream social sort of day where it was in the quad and they had some games. They had snow cones. On the first night they had s'mores. They had like a little day where you could make a poster for your dorm room that like had all of your names on it and your interests and stuff. Out of all those sort of activities, my personal favorite activities that we did at camp were the field trips. Do not skip any of the field trips. Even the field trips that I wasn't sure about, I ended up having so much fun on all of the field trips. The first field trip we went on was to Franklinton Fridays, which is like an arts district kind of place. It's kind of like a flea market. They have different stands where people are selling like thrifted clothes, artwork, food. It's so fun. There's galleries all around that you get access to by being a CCAD student. So it was so nice. I loved that field trip. and I was so glad I went. Even though it was hot and I was sticky that day, I loved that field trip. Next one we went was Otherworld. Otherworld was amazing. It was everything I hoped it would be. I'm so glad I went. It's like an interactive art museum. Everything is glow in the dark. You're like in the dark. Every room has a different theme. It's so creative. I know they switch out their exhibits regularly, so it'll always be something different. And if you go back to my week in the life video from last week, you will see that I think we went on Friday, I believe. So if you go back and watch that video, you will see that. Next field trip, Short North. Loved it. Again, another shopping sort of area. This time it wasn't like a pop-up market sort of thing. It was actually an arts district. There were coffee shops, ice cream shops, thrift shops, stationery shops, like all sorts of places. It was so fun. We kind of all walked there from campus, and then they just let us go free. We had a certain meeting point where we all had to meet at a certain time to walk back, but we had a few hours to go around, look everywhere, go shopping, do what we wanted to do, and I had so much fun. Then the last field trip is the zoo. And the zoo was so fun too. You can pet the little stingrays, you can go see the manatees, you can go see the tigers, the elephants, all that sort of stuff. I really loved going to Columbus Zoo, and I actually went to the zoo like again 2 days later with my family when they came at the end of camp. So I went to the zoo twice that week, and I had fun both times. So I think my favorite field trip, if I had to rank them, that's so hard. If I had to rank them, I think I might put Short North at top. Oh, I forgot one field trip. The art museum. There's an art museum that's like on campus, literally like 5 steps away from the residence hall. And that was one of our field trips. I had such a good time there. I went there that morning with one of my friends. We walked around. We looked at all the artwork, the exhibits. Then there's a little gift shop. So I bought some souvenirs, just some like pins. And then we went to the little cafe that was downstairs. I had some like nice French toast. It was such a cute little morning that we had. So I really loved that trip. Now, ranking them. If I was gonna rank them, I might put Short North at the top. Then I'll put Otherworld number 2, Art Museum number 3, maybe Zoo 4, Franklinton Fridays 5, or like the other way around. I'm not really sure, but honestly, they're like pretty much all the same level. Like, don't skip the field trips. Make an effort to go on all of them. They are all so fun. There's something to do. And even if you're not sure if you're going to love it, I'm telling you that I had a lot of fun. So just keep your mind open. Now I am going to be talking about food at camp. If I had one word for the food at camp, it would be mid. It's not amazing. It's not the best thing I've ever tasted. It's not the most horrible, putrid, disgusting thing I've ever tasted. It's just mid. It's okay. But all the people in the cafeteria, the staff, they're super nice. They make an effort. The one thing I will say to be wary of is sometimes the plates are dirty and you kind of have to like look through the stack to find a clean plate. But that wasn't really horrible. I mean, I know there's some people who are kind of super picky who those sort of things would make them be like, oh, 1 star. But no, I wasn't super picky. I thought the cafeteria was just okay. I think some of the best food in there was the bacon that they had, the burgers. The burgers is one of the things I'll say that was not mid. It was good. The burgers were good. I really liked them. The fries that they had were good. The mac and cheese was good. Except for one day when they kind of like weirdly spiced it and it didn't taste great, but most days it was good. Just maybe add a little salt to it if you like the more salted taste of mac and cheese, because that's what I did. Then the Mediterranean bowls was something kind of unique, and I thought those were pretty good. And then the cookies. Personally, I did not eat a whole bunch of the cookies in the cafeteria, but my friends, my roommates, the one thing that they never failed to grab that they were always eating, it was like cafeteria staple, was the cookies, the brownies, that stuff. It's not like super like French pastry quality, but they're not horrible. They're pretty good. The pastries in the cafeteria. Oh, my least favorite food day would probably be, I don't know, there's this one day where they had this like just thing that I really couldn't identify. I wasn't sure if it was like some sort of loaf or what it was, but I did not eat the cafeteria food that night. Or actually, no, that's not true. I just didn't eat that thing. The cafeteria, how it's set up, is they have their rotating meal in the front. So the first line you walk through is like whatever they're rotating. So it could be the barbecue wings and the mac and cheese, the asparagus, like so they might have their mac and cheese day, their nacho day, Mediterranean bowl day. That's what will be in the front. Then you move on to like the kind of side area. So the line kind of moves in an L shape. So it's like that, and then it bends. At that bend point, that's where all the food that's there every day for lunch and dinner is. So they always have burgers available, hot dogs available, and they always have pizza available. So on the days when I didn't really feel like eating what they had like as their special, I guess, of the day, on the days where I didn't really feel like eating that, I would just go and have a burger. So I feel like it does leave you options. I'm not sure if I was a student there, like full time college student there, if I would have got sick of the food, but if you're just there for 3 weeks, I promise you, you'll be fine. And obviously, there's other options. You can go and buy little snacks or microwavable things from the hills. You can DoorDash. A lot of people DoorDashed. I personally never DoorDashed. I didn't feel the need to. So, yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna try and just, I don't know, think of whatever might be helpful. I kind of tried to go to my family and ask for what questions they thought they had before I went to camp. So hopefully I could add that in, maybe things I didn't think about including that could be helpful. So the first question that I have, which was like one of my mom's big questions when we were going, is how safe is it? So they do have 24/7 security. Security is always available. You call, they pick up, and they're always there if you need help because something's stuck in your dorm or I don't know, for whatever reason. I never had to call security. Well, besides for the one night I got stuck in the rain, I called them to ask if someone had an umbrella and could escort me, but they were like, "Oh, we have no umbrellas." I just got lucky that girl walked by that night. But anyways, so security, they're there for you if you need them. The RAs in the dorm, I will say, were always there at a really inconvenient time. They were there from 4 to 8 p.m., which honestly, 4 is really late for them to come in. We would be done with classes a lot earlier. Sometimes in the morning, you'd want to get the RA for something. It's like on the weekend, if you like cleaning in the morning, if you prefer to clean in the morning and get that over with, I'm pretty sure they had like some cleaning supplies behind the desk that you could ask them to borrow. But the RAs were never there at a convenient time. So it was like the whole day is gone and you don't want to do anything by the time they're there. Or if you have a package you want to grab in the morning, you have to wait until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon until you can get any package that comes for you. So just little things like that. I thought the RAs were kind of there at an inconvenient time, but they were kind of there. I mean, I think just because of the timing, the RAs weren't super helpful. I feel like if they were in, like maybe in the morning and then not during the afternoon, like when all the classes were happening, and then in like the after class kind of time, I feel like that would have been more helpful if instead of them just being there late. And then what else? Security. After the RAs leave at 8, security is there from like through the night hours, through the late hours. And the security guard just sits at the desk, watches over the door, makes sure nothing bad's going on, nothing creepy, nothing like that. They said that they were gonna do like floor checks to make sure people were in their dorms. They didn't really do that too much, but I feel like most of the kids there are good. The kids there are good. People are responsible. People are there to learn. People know what they came for. They know what they're paying for. So most people, honestly, all people, or at least all people I was in interaction with, were pretty respectful of that. They were in on time. They went to their rooms on time. So it was never an issue. The RAs weren't like pestering us or like knocking on everyone's door to make sure they're in their room. It's on you to be responsible. And I mean, you can get kicked out of the program, but honestly, just use common sense. Just use common sense. Okay, now I'm going to move into my graphic design portion of this video, and I'm just going to talk about that class. The first week we started out with kind of an introductory level, teaching us how to use stuff. That was the first week. It was our learn week. That first week, he was showing us how to use all the different tools in Adobe Illustrator, how to use Adobe InDesign, and we were just learning, playing with basic shapes, using the different tools, learning how everything worked. The second week is when we started kind of applying those things, applying that thinking, making mind maps, brainstorming concepts, sketching. We did all that sort of stuff in the second week. So second week is when we started our poster project. Our assignment was to create a poster series for a middle school science classroom. The theme and the project will probably change every year, but we had to make an animal poster series of like sea creatures for a middle school classroom. So we had to make sure they all looked cohesive, all looked like they were part of one series, which is why we used InDesign, and we all used the same formatting, the same type of graphic when we were making our posters so that they all looked like they belonged together. So then that was what we did that second week. We also worked on like quick sketching. We watched some videos from specific designers. It was pretty thorough. Third week and like kind of endish of second week and like that sort of time is when we started working on our big project, which is our individual projects. We're supposed to make promotional materials. The what's it called? The prompt was really what am I saying? The prompt was really broad. Broad is the word I'm looking for. I don't know why I said bland. But it was really broad. It was just, our assignment was to create some sort of promotional material that would get people excited about the ocean. So my project personally, I made an eco-friendly swimwear brand. I called it Palm House, and our project had to include 3 deliverables or 3 mock-ups. So I made my poster for this project, my giant poster, which my poster is actually rolled up just sitting there, but I made my poster and I put in, what did I include? I included my logos, all my different brands, like elements. I had the sign that I mocked up. I had the Instagram page I mocked up for the brand. And those were like the kind of elements I included in the project. And I'll probably include some pictures throughout this video to help you guys kind of see the stuff that we were working on in class. So it was pretty straightforward. First week, learn. Second week, we kind of growed a little. Third week was like thrive week. So that is what we were doing in class. We had certain slideshows some days. He showed us different tools, different things that we could use to practice. And I thought the course was very well-rounded. I thought for 3 weeks for your graphic design course, I think it's definitely doing a good job of teaching you and letting you learn and then build and create stuff. So I think that the program was pretty good. I really enjoyed it as a whole. And I don't think I have anything else for this video. I got through my entire list that I have here. If you have any questions, specific questions that I did not answer in this video, feel free to leave them in the comments down below so that I can answer them for you and help you be prepared for your time at Camp 2. I hope you have a beautiful, lovely day. If you made it this far in the video, comment this emoji so I can know that you stayed till the end. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!